This year's NBA trade deadline might go down as one of the craziest the NBA has ever seen. I mean, first of all, one of the best players the game has ever seen, in Luka, was traded to the LA Lakers. We saw moves like Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, Zach LaVine to the Kings, and much more. Now, in this video, I wanted to rank in reverse order, so essentially going from 5 to number 1, the top 5 teams in the NBA post-trade deadline about 1 month later. And again, to make this list, your team would have had to make a big-time trade, so you're not going to see the Celtics in here. You're also not going to see a team like the Denver Nuggets, who essentially didn't really make any moves at the deadline. So before we dive into the video, comment down below, where do you think I went wrong, or if I missed any teams? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's start at number 5. Now, coming in at number 5 is the Sacramento Kings, who have actually been pretty decent since trading De'Aaron Fox to the San Antonio Spurs, and this was a massive trade that ultimately sent De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio, Zach LaVine to the Kings, along with 3 first-round picks, and the Bulls ended up receiving Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and a 2025 pick from the Spurs. Now, throughout Zach LaVine's first 10 games in Sacramento, the Kings have a record of 6-4. He is averaging about 22.6 points per game, while bringing in 4 rebounds, passing for 4.2 assists per game, while shooting 49% from the field and 37.3% from the three-point line. Now, part of me wanted to put the Spurs with the De'Aaron Fox move at number 5, but to be quite honest, they just haven't been really good at all since Victor Wembanyama went down, and honestly, De'Aaron Fox is only shooting about 26% from 3 and 42% from the field, while averaging about 19 points per game. Obviously, I think in the long run, this trade will be a lot better, but for now, the Kings are the better basketball team. Now, coming in at number 4 is the Cleveland Cavaliers trade for DeAndre Hunter. Now, going into the trade deadline, they were already the best team in basketball, and I didn't think they could get much better, but I was wrong. The Cavaliers ended up trading Caris LeVert, Georges Niang, 3 second-round picks, and 2 pick swaps, which seems like a lot, but at the end of the day, it's really not for a guy like DeAndre Hunter, who they received in return. So far, this trade has panned out so well. He is averaging 16 points per game while shooting 52% from the field, and get this, 59% from the three-point line over an 8-game span with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And just last night, when he took on the Portland Trail Blazers, or maybe a couple of days ago, he dropped 30 points as Donovan Mitchell sat out, and man, he was a major X factor. With the addition of DeAndre Hunter, not only do they now have a better, more versatile wing defender to help out defensively, but now they have an established three-point shooter who can play within a role alongside Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Ty Jerome, Max Strus, and so much more. This Cavaliers team with DeAndre Hunter easily could have been number 1, but like I said before, trade deadline was wild. Now, before we head any further into this video, the top 3 are about to blow your mind. So before we dive in, hit the like button if you want more of these type of videos, but more importantly, make sure you guys do me a big time favor and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be breaking down the NBA and a bunch of teams, film analysis, whatever you guys want to see. We got you guys covered, so make sure you join the family. And lastly, make sure you guys go follow my Twitter. Link will be in the description. I'm already trying to post a ton during games. I'm talking a lot about the Lakers and the Warriors, the Celtics, and a bunch of other teams. So make sure you guys go follow the Twitter real quick, and let's dive back into the number 3 team on the rankings. Now, coming in at number 3 is no other than the Milwaukee Bucks, and trust me, I wanted to put them higher on this list, but I just couldn't. Now, they have a 7-3 record over their last 10 games and made 2 pretty big trades. The first one being for Kyle Kuzma, where they sent out Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson in a 2028 first-round pick swap for Kyle Kuzma, Jericho Sims, and 2 second-round picks. But that wasn't it. They also made another trade, and one that will probably go down as a big-time steal, but they sent the Clippers Marion Beauchamp, and in return, they received Kevin Porter Jr., who's actually been a very good player for them off the bench thus far. Now, with the addition of these three players, I feel like the Bucks have been a lot better, and we're starting to see the true potential and floor spacing of the Milwaukee Bucks. So far, Kyle Kuzma is averaging about 15 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, but still is nowhere near his full potential, as his shooting numbers are not quite yet where they need to be. I think that's only going to go up over time. He is shooting about 40% from the field and roughly 29% from the three-point line, and again, I think those numbers will improve from here. And then from Kevin Porter Jr. standpoint, he's averaging about 8.4 points per game, bringing in about 2.4 assists per game, but 1.6 steals per game defensively. He's been playing the passing lanes extremely well, but another one of those guys who has not yet really fully developed the team chemistry yet, right? Shooting about 28.6% from three, but 49% from the floor. Now, coming in at number 2 is one you guys might not like and probably want this one to be number 1, but Jimmy Butler to the Warriors has already been amazing, and honestly, if you look at their first 10 games with Jimmy Butler, they've been a completely different basketball team. And if we're being quite honest, a lot of people, even the Warriors included, Draymond Green, think this team is good enough to win the NBA Finals. They have went 7-3 over the last 10 games, and with Jimmy Butler, I'm telling you right now, this team is different. Now, this Jimmy Butler trade was actually pretty big. They ended up sending the Miami Heat Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell was sent from the Raptors. They also sent a 2025 protected first-round pick, but in return, were able to receive Jimmy Butler, 2 second-round picks, and some cash on the side as well. Throughout Jimmy Butler's first 8 games with the Golden State Warriors, he is averaging 16 points per game, bringing in 5.8 rebounds, diming up about 5.6 times per game, adding 1.3 steals while shooting 43% from the field, but only 7.1% from the three-point line. Again, it takes time for guys like Jimmy Butler and Zach LaVine and De'Aaron Fox to really get acclimated with their new teams, their new teammates, and their new systems, right? So you see these guys not shooting well, that is to be expected. They need to learn the system, build chemistry, and for you guys who don't think that Jimmy Butler actually helped looking at those numbers, take a look at this. Since the Warriors acquired Jimmy Butler, they rank 6th in the NBA in points per game, 1st in assists per game, 2nd in steals per game, 1st in defensive rating, and 3rd in opposing points per game allowed. And then before, they were 20th in points per game, 9th, 10th, and 10th. So obviously, a clear upgrade by adding Jimmy Butler. And last but not least, the number 1 team post-trade deadline is easily, in my opinion, and by far, the LA Lakers, landing Luka from the Dallas Mavericks in what will end up be one of the biggest steals of NBA history. The Luka trade includes the Lakers receiving Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Maxi Kleber is yet to play, but they sent the Dallas Mavericks Anthony Davis, Max Christie, who has been decent, a 2029 first-round pick, and then the Utah Jazz end up receiving Jalen Hood-Schifino, a second-round pick this year, or 2 second-round picks this year, but ultimately, Luka to the Lakers. Throughout Luka's first 8 games with the LA Lakers, he is averaging 22 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 6.8 assists, also 1.8 steals per game, has been an unbelievable defender, also shooting only 39% from the field and 27% from 3. One thing that pretty much is the same with all of these guys, they're struggling to shoot the ball early. Again, it's going to take time. But overall, the Luka-led Lakers with LeBron have been the best team in basketball. The Lakers are 8-2 in their last 10 games and clearly are on a run. 8-0 in their last 8 games, beating the Clippers twice, the Timberwolves, Dallas, Denver, Indiana. This team is on a super run right now, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if this new look Lakers team makes the NBA Finals.